What if I told you that a 2,500-year-old farming metaphor holds one of the most powerful secrets to managing your mind today? Seriously, we're about to dive into this ancient text to uncover a super practical guide for taming all that inner chaos. So let me just ask you this, right up front. Are you a good shepherd for your mind? I know, it sounds like a weird question, right? But stick with me, because by the end of this, it's going to make perfect sense. And honestly, it might just change the way you think about, well, the way you think. Okay, so this whole idea comes from a Pali text, the Majjhima Nikaya. And in it, the Buddha uses this really simple, super down-to-earth analogy. He basically says that anyone who's skilled at, developing their mind, they're just like a good cowherd who really knows how to take care of their animals. And our thoughts, our feelings, our impulses, yeah, that's our herd. So let's really dig into this idea, right? Becoming the shepherd of your own mind. And look, it's not about trying to control every single thought that pops into your head. That's impossible. It's more about skillfully guiding your attention and your energy so that your inner world can actually, thrive. Now, the cool thing is, the Buddha didn't just leave it at this nice little metaphor. Oh no. He got super specific. He laid out exactly 11 skills that a good cowherd and, of course, a good mind shepherd needs to master. Now, we're not going to go through all 11 today, but we are going to zero in on a few that reveal something pretty extraordinary. Okay, first things first, let's look at the basic job description, shall we? If you just take the original Pali and do a straight-up modern translation, what you get is a pretty simple checklist, kind of like a farmer's daily to-do list. So, for example, a good cowherd, he removes pests, like flies from the cattle. He covers their wounds so they don't get infected, and he makes smoke to keep the bugs away. All pretty simple, super practical advice for keeping cows healthy. Makes sense. And you could totally stop there and think, all right, cute little story. But, and this is the really interesting part, hidden inside the original language, these simple farming terms are hiding a much deeper psychological meaning. And this is where things get really fascinating. So to really see it, we have to look at this through a completely different lens. We can't just use a modern translation. We have to look through the language of awakening itself. And that requires a pretty special kind of linguistic insight. In the Pali language, this is called nirati. It's this amazing method of analysis where you go all the way back to the root of a word to understand its deepest, truest intention. Think of it like peeling back the surface layer of something to find the powerful engine that's running the whole thing. So it's not just about what a word means on the surface, it's about what that word is meant to do. So what happens when we take this powerful tool, niruti, and apply it to those simple farming tasks we just talked about? Well, the results are absolutely transformative. All of a sudden, removes pests? That transforms into expels internal assailants? Whoa. The focus shifts dramatically. We're not talking about an external annoyance like a fly anymore. We're talking about a serious internal threat. And then covers wounds becomes protects vulnerable openings. See? This isn't about patching up a simple cut on the skin. Not at all. This is about guarding the very entry points of our consciousness. The difference here is it's profound. Okay, now let's actually visualize this difference. Let's really see what happens when we stop thinking like a modern translator and we start seeing with the eyes of an ancient mind shepherd. So in that first simple translation, a pest is literally just that, a fly buzzing around a cow. Yeah, it's annoying for sure, but it's a minor external problem, something you just shoo away. But that narrative translation, it reveals the real target, internal assailants. And what are those? We're talking about thoughts of greed, ill will, anger, distraction. These aren't just little pests. They are hostile forces that are actively harming your well-being. And here's the crucial part. You don't just shoo them away. You have to actively and forcefully expel them. It's the same thing with wounds. On the surface, a wound is just a physical cut, right? Something you patch up, maybe forget about while it heals up on its own. But vulnerable openings, that's talking about our six senses. Our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and even our mind. These are the gateways where the entire world just floods in. And this idea just brilliantly illustrates the need to actively guard them, to protect these openings from being totally overwhelmed by harmful stuff that can cause real damage deep inside. So, okay, why does any of this linguistic deep dive actually matter in our day-to-day lives? It's simple, really, because the words we use to define our inner experience literally shape our reality. I mean, think about it. If you call your nagging, negative thoughts pests, you'll probably just tolerate them, right? You'll just put up with them. But what if you start calling them assailants? Suddenly, you recognize them for what they are, a genuine threat to your peace of mind. And that motivates you to take serious, definitive action. Just changing the label changes the entire game. And the text is crystal clear about what happens when you master these deeper skills. This isn't just about feeling a little bit better. The goal here is to become truly capable of growth, development, and fullness. We're talking about unlocking your full potential. So what this ancient teaching really shows us is that when we get more precise and more powerful with the language we use for our inner world, we're not just playing around with words. We are fundamentally changing our capacity to grow. So I'm going to leave you with this question. Think about it. What is one pest in your life right now? Maybe a bad habit, a nagging fear, a limiting belief. What's one thing that you could start calling an assailant? What's that one word you can redefine starting today to unlock your own path to growth?